Hey friends, good afternoon. I am Jenny with Roots and Wings Furniture. Thank you so much if you are watching me on the replay. Please feel free to comment below, ask any questions that you might have, and I will do my best to get back here to answer them for you. But for all of you joining me now, I am Jenny with Roots and Wings Furniture, where I'm helping you transform your house into a home one project at a time. We are on day 2 of our 7-day countdown to the market, and I am trying my best to knock out a bunch of projects, and I thought I would take y'all along with me on the ride so you can see how to refinish furniture and ask questions as we go. So, hey Tasha, how's it going? Please say hi as you come on. I would love to say hi to you. Feel free to ask any questions that you might have as we go along here on this process. And one more thing that I want to tell you before we get started, if you go to my website, rootsandwingsfurniture.com, there should be a pop-up that comes up and it will give you a free furniture painting ebook, which is basically everything that we're going to go over today. It includes a supply list for you there of everything that we're going to use. So if you're like, wait, what was she using? What was she talking about? You can download that ebook. It will be all of the step-by-steps with pictures and the supply list right there for you. So let's get started. Here's what I'm working on today. I was going to do some sanding and show you guys how I refinish the top of something, but it's raining, so we are not going to do sanding today. I'm going to do some painting instead. I have this pair of nightstands, end tables nightstands. One of them is painted and one is not, so I thought we would just go over the basics of painting a piece of furniture. So this is what we've got going on here. Let me tell you what we're going to need to get this project done. First thing we're going to need is some 220 grit sandpaper. Just one little sheet of sandpaper will do. All we're going to do is scuff up the existing finish and just give the paint something to stick to really well. So you'll just need some sandpaper. Now everyone freaks out when we talk about prep and everybody wants the paint that you don't need to do any prep for. Let me tell you, this is not a big deal. We can prep this piece in like 5 minutes and be ready to paint, and then be really sure that our paint is going to stick really well, that our piece is nice and clean, etc., etc., okay? So you do need a little bit of sandpaper. You also need, my favorite thing to clean a piece with is a 50-50 mix of denatured alcohol and water. Denatured alcohol, you can grab it at the hardware store. It's not expensive. It's in the same section with the sandpaper and the stripper and all that kind of stuff. It comes in a little like metal container. Mix it half and half with water. I just keep mine in a spray bottle, and that will clean your piece of any dust, dirt, grime, without leaving anything that will hurt the paint from sticking to the piece. Some household cleaners and whatnot that we like to clean with, it can hurt the finish over time. Denatured alcohol is safe when you're prepping for paint, so that's why I like to use that. Just with some paper towels, that's all we'll need. Then this piece is going to go Queenstown Gray. I love this color. Queenstown Gray is General Finish's darkest gray, kind of a charcoal gray. You can see it on my little messy can here. Charcoal gray. This is milk paint. General Finish's milk paint is actually an acrylic, so it's really nice and durable. It sticks well. It has a really beautiful finish, and it levels really nicely when we put it on our piece. Okay, so that's the paint that I'm going to use, and my favorite brush of all time is this. It's a Purdy XL Cub. A couple of reasons I like this. It gives a really nice finish with your paint, so it's going to minimize any brush strokes that you might have. It's just a really nice brush. When you take care of it and wash it, you can use it time and time again, so it's worth a little bit of investment. And then I love this little handle because it fits really nicely in my hand. It doesn't give me a hand cramp. It's really perfect that I can just paint and paint and paint. This is my favorite brush. It's worth it, guys. Worth it. Okay, ready? That's all we need. So now we're going to jump in and let's get started on prepping this piece. So you grab your 220 grit sandpaper, and all we're going to do is scuff it up a little bit. Hi, Jennifer. pay attention especially to flat areas. That is where you're really going to want to make sure you get some nice scuffing. And it's a little hard to see in the camera, but you can see it gives it that like white, dusty look. And that's how you know you've got it nice and scratched up and it's ready for paint. Yes. Yes, Jennifer, isn't that brush awesome? It really is. I love it too. Y'all, look at this. I got some cool little wheelie bobber things, and so this is on wheels today. It doesn't have wheels, the piece itself. These are pretty handy. I'm kind of excited about that. Let me bring you down so you can see more of the side of this. Kind of do circular motion, do some straight lines. I mean, don't overthink this step. Whoops. That's it. We lost a wheel here. Maybe these things aren't going to work. There we go. This piece is not particularly shiny to begin with. If it were, make sure you take down the shine. This is how we're taking off the shine. We're just, again, we're giving the paint something to stick to. And we'll do the top the exact same way. All right, there we go. That's all there is to the prep sanding that we do. So it's so easy. It's so easy, guys. No big deal. I'm gonna spray this down now. This is why the spray bottle comes in so handy. Now, I did not clean this piece before we started. So this is not only cleaning off the sawdust, but also, like I say, any years of dust, gunk, grime, whatever could be on there. The other nice thing, since it is alcohol, once you wipe it, it dries pretty quick. It's not like we're having to wait for the piece to dry really before we paint it. So you do wipe it down, but the alcohol helps it dry nice and fast, so you've got a surface that is ready for the paint. Whoa. All right, that is all the cleaning that we're gonna do. Okay, just like that, we're ready to go. So you wanna get all this nasty stuff off of your piece. You don't want that underneath the paint. That's what will prevent the paint from sticking really well. So just that little bit of prep is well worth it. I like to take out drawers when I'm refinishing a piece, I'll just set this over here to the side. All right, there we go, ready for our paint. Carmen, this is denatured alcohol and water. I have mixed it half and half in this little spray bottle. I keep it in the spray bottle all the time just so it's ready when I want to use it. So the denatured alcohol is just a really nice cleaning agent that cleans the piece really well. The water dilutes it enough so you're not, you know, it's not evaporating super quickly. The water helps clean a little bit too. And then the denatured alcohol, like I say, helps it dry fast as well. So that's what I keep in this little spray bottle here. Yes, Kelly, Queenstown Gray is the best. This is Queenstown Gray. Again, we're using General Finishes milk paint, which is really an acrylic paint. So when this dries, it'll have like an eggshell finish. Here's the pretty color. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this color. It's so pretty and really quite neutral. It goes with a lot of things. It can be masculine if you pair it with some wood tones and things like that, but I don't think it has to be. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I've used this color a lot in my house and really, really like it. I'm gonna start on the inside here just so I am not dipping my elbows and arms in all of the paint. So we're gonna kind of go inside. It's gonna be a little awkward here for just a second, so hang tight with me. But I do want the inside of this painted. I feel like most of the colors, especially the darker ones, you'll need 2 coats of paint. So you're gonna see some wood showing through. It doesn't look too bad. But this will just be the first coat. We'll let it dry. We'll do a second coat in the exact same way. And it will give us full coverage. I've noticed if you ever want like the hope of a 1-coat coverage with General Finishes milk paint, I think the best color for coverage is driftwood. Has anyone else noticed that? Driftwood is a little bit lighter gray than this. It's the medium gray. And every once in a while I'll get lucky enough and I will come away with a 1-coat finish. Doesn't happen all the time. But that, for some reason, that color is just the most complete coverage with 1 coat of paint. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm doing section by section. So we do a side, the back, the side, the bottom. That will help you watch for drips. It'll keep it nice and smooth. You really want to put the paint on. You want to go over it once with your brush and then just let it dry. And it's going to self-level itself really nice. It's going to dry with a really nice finish so we're not seeing a lot of brush strokes. So don't mess with your paint too much because that's when you can get into a little bit of trouble. think there is something so relaxing about just painting a piece of furniture. Like, it is just so peaceful. Just transform it. It can be a quick process. It doesn't have to be long and involved. Just love it. Let's do the side. I'm going to keep long, even brush strokes, and that too will help so you don't show the brush strokes once the paint is dry. Y'all think, isn't that so pretty? Do you have charcoal gray as an accent color in your home? I would love to know. It has, like I say, become a lot more of an accent color. It's nice because it's got gray, so it goes with a lot. It's pretty neutral. It's dark, but it's not black. You know, I really like charcoal gray. Ooh, Jennifer, that's a hard choice. I think Queenstown and Seagull are both just so pretty. Queenstown is nice because it's dark and it's rich and kind of moody sometimes. But Seagull is nice because it's just that like barely hint of gray. It's like the lightest gray without being white or without being cream. So that is a hard choice. Those are some of my favorites. I think Queenstown Gray, Seagull Gray, and Coastal Blue are my 3 favorite milk paint colors. Every time I do them, I'm like, oh, I can't get enough of this color, you know? Carmen, you have a charcoal gray sofa. Yes. See? Perfect. Goes with everything, right? You can put any color pillow on it. You can paint the walls any color. It's just awesome. I'm going to do the top here. Amanda, I am using a Purdy XL Cub. It looks like this. The brush really does matter, guys. I will tell you that when I first started painting, I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on a brush. I thought, oh, I'll just go get the, you know, whatever, $9, $8 brush. The hardware store, even the ones with the little handle. I splurged one day and bought a Purdy, and it was well worth it. I have not looked back. They're not super expensive. I think they're usually about 12 bucks. A piece, and you can wash it and you'll reuse it a million times. But they are just my favorite brush. You can get them at the hardware store. You can get them on Amazon. One more little spin here. Now I just leave the drawer out of the piece while I'm painting it, so just like this. I'll set it up so it's face up, and then it's easy just to give it a quick coat of paint. This will help it not drip either because it's sitting nice and flat. It can level itself. It allows you to get all the way around the sides and the edges. Boom, just like that. Y'all, how long did that take? How long have we been on here? Maybe 15 minutes, and we've got our first coat of paint on here. Here's what you do now. So, you let this dry. Depending on the weather, depending on the temperature, 2 to 4 hours is usually dry time, and it's usually quicker than that, but that's what we say, 2 to 4 hours. Let it dry completely to the touch. We don't sand in between coats or anything like that unless you get a drip or a boo-boo or something. Otherwise, we don't sand. You will apply a second coat the exact same way, just like we did here. You should have full coverage in 2 coats of paint, especially with a color like this one. And then you will just let it dry. It'll be dry completely in 24 hours and then cured in a couple weeks. So we just say in a couple weeks, don't put a heavy lamp on top or, you know, stuff like that. You don't want it to accidentally peel up some paint. The nice thing about General Finishes milk paint is you don't have to seal it. We don't have to put a sealer on top unless you want to add some shine to it, unless you're using it for like the top of your kitchen table, so it's a really high use area. But I would say like 8 out of 10 times I don't put any sealer on it. So just so you know, that's a benefit of this paint. You don't have to seal it with wax or top coat unless you just really want to. So that's all there is to it. Isn't it easy? Guys, what did you think about that? Do you like it? Let me show you just a few other fun things. This is the hardware that I'm pretty sure I'm going to use on this piece. Let's see if I can open it. So you have to look at it through the package. I just thought this was like so pretty. Check out those cup holes. Isn't that pretty? These, one of my favorite hardware sources, DLawlesshardware.com. They have some great prices on hardware, especially if you're doing like a whole kitchen and you need a million pieces of hardware. Check them out, really inexpensive. These came from there, and I think it'll just really pop against that dark gray. Isn't that classy? I love it, love it. So this is what's gonna be on here. Let's talk about one other thing before I let you guys go. Real quick, you can't see it, I'm gonna move you. So here's the other piece that I have. I told you I had one painted already. This is another piece, and I actually just had this. We've used it in our house for a while. So when I found this piece for sale, I snatched it up because I knew I could paint them and make them a pair. Let's talk for a second about painting over a painted piece, because it's a question I get often. Here's the deal. You can pretty much do it the same way that we just did here, with just a couple exceptions. First of all, especially if you're going to buy a piece that's already painted, here's some things to look for. I just want to tell you real quick. Check for how well the existing paint is adhering to the piece. So if it's peeling off, if it's chipping, anything like that, just be aware you can't just put paint on top of it or all of that's going to chip off. It's only going to be as strong as the base layer, basically, is what I'm saying. So be sure to check for things like that. If you do get a little chipping, this has been through, I think, 2 kids' rooms. We've had it in different places in our house. So there are some scuffs and some scratches and some chips. So what I'm going to do is lightly sand it again with that 220 grit, especially making sure in those chipped areas to sand it really nice. It might come down to wood. We'll just see. Smooth it out so you get a nice smooth surface and you don't have like holes of paint places, you know what I mean? And then it will be good for paint. If you've got like a really shiny paint or anything like that, same principle applies. You've got to scuff it up, give it a little scratchiness so the paint that we're putting on top has something to stick to. So those are just a few things to keep in mind when you are purchasing a piece, or if you've got a piece you want to change the color on. It's certainly possible. Just be sure, again, you've got a good surface to start with, and do a little bit of extra prep work in your sanding so you have a good surface for the paint to stick to. But I think once these two are painted together, you're going to not even be able to tell that they were different. So what do you think? That's what I've got for you. This is going to be a pair of Queenstown Gray end tables that will be going with me to Kinsey Vintage Market. If you guys are local, check it out. Kinsey Vintage Market. It is May 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's what we're counting down to. I'm trying to power up and get through all of these, the last of the furniture projects, and I will be taking all of these pieces with me there. So come see me there for sure if you are local. If not, I will be back tomorrow, and if the weather is nice, we'll work on that buffet. So I've got several other things that will be coming your way. I can't wait. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we will see you guys tomorrow. So have an awesome day. Happy Tuesday, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.